Hey guys, this is me. This is Beastie, the man behind all of this no NFT builds. And yeah, today I have another no NFT build for you guys. We got a back-to-back upload for this week. Normally I drop a build every 2 weeks, but this time I had some free time. So yeah, we're gonna be cooking a smoked salmon build for this one. Sounds like a great idea, right? But man, as soon as I do it, oh my god, it was tough. I think it took me about 4 to 5 tweaks to balance everything. But I finally got it working, so yeah, let's break it down. So this is the build, and it's pushing around 8 smoked salmon per hour. I think if you let it run long enough, it can creep up to 8.5 per hour. And the bottleneck for this build is going to be milk. But before we discuss about numbers, I just want to give you a quick heads up. This is a big warning for you guys when it comes to balancing this build, because it can get tricky. If you start tweaking too much, your whole balance will start to crash, and most of the time the problem comes from tier 1 and tier 2 resources, because if they slip, everything else breaks. So that's something that you guys have to watch out for. And when it comes to metas like this, the number one golden rule that you have to follow is to always overproduce wood, right? Whenever we have metas like this where windmills and animals are combined, and you also throw like a barbecue wood in there, so lumber mills are also involved, all of them will depend on your wood. So for metas like this, you have to overproduce wood, and it's non-negotiable. You just have to do it. But when it comes to overproducing wood, don't go crazy too much on it, because too much wood also burns your gasoline fast, and we don't have an oil sip here on this build, so you have to watch out for your gasoline as well. So don't go too crazy at overproducing wood. And that's also a good segue for our next topic, because for this build, compared to the other builds like the dry rub and the roasted garlic, we don't really auto sell wood. We just let them destroy, right? But for this build, we have to auto sell them, because if you don't, it will clog your lumber yards, and your barbecue wood production will tank, because you also want oak woods and red oak woods to be stored in the lumber yard, so that the lumber mill workers can grab them once they are available, right? So it prevents your town from destroying those valuable resources, which is the red oaks and the oak wood. Because once your loggers start destroying those resources, you're gonna see your barbecue wood tank. It's gonna dip, and it's gonna affect your smoked salmon rate. So you have to watch out for that as well. And for this build, we're gonna set wood at a higher number, so you keep enough wood in the yard for ATVs and windmills to grab, but there's still enough space to keep production flowing. That's also the reason why we have two lumber yards on this build, because one is simply not enough. At some point they will destroy something, so you need to have two lumber yards. So I'm just gonna show you the auto sell settings real quick. We're gonna start from the bottom. We basically auto sell everything to 10, except for, let's see, we're auto selling crops at 10 because it doesn't really matter. We have enough windmills for this build, so yeah, we're auto selling everything at 10 except for wood. We set it at a high number of 22 because we need to keep 12, because we want to keep 12 wood, a minimum of 12 wood in the lumber yard. Alright. Now layout wise, this build is a little different because the ocean is on the opposite side of the river, so I had to use more roads to connect everything and funnel resources into the middle. So we have our ocean on this side, and then the river on this side, which actually separates our crops, because we have our salt brines here on the top section, and then we have our sugar canes and the trees here in the bottom, which is where your trees and your other crops are located, right? So the way we can connect them is placing a road here in the middle, right here, and then placing the storages connected to the main node, which is here, the silo, and then we also have a silo right there, right, just to reduce the travel time of the tractors. We also have our storehouses connected to the middle, which is our main road, and we have another straight line of roads here to create pathing for the loggers to deliver wood to the windmills. Because we're using more roads for this build, you can see we can get away with less tractors. We only have 9 tractors in this build, which is like, if you're gonna look at our previous builds from the dry rub and the roasted garlic build, we have like 11 tractors for those builds. But for this one we have less because they have better pathing, and that is enabled by using roads. And next to those storehouses I placed 2 bakeries, and you have to be careful. I would highly suggest that you guys don't move these bakeries, keep them there, because that is the most optimal position for them to be, like right next to the storehouse. Because if you do move them and make them walk a bit more, you might end up needing a third bakery. But if you're aiming for a higher rate, let's say you have more NFTs, then maybe you're gonna need a third bakery if you are gonna push for that. But if you're a free-to-play player, I think having two next to the storehouses is the sweet spot for you, because that will save you 1 tile, which you can use to add more windmills or a meadow, depending on what your bottleneck is. Alright, so let me zoom out the build so you guys could see it. So right here in the bottom I have a 1 fishing platform. I have a fisherman right here, a seaweed farmer. We have the aquaculturist on this side. I intentionally put it here for less shade so that we can produce more sugar cane. Right, because we're trying to control sugar cane, because we don't want to auto sell them too much, because we don't really make enough gas if we like overproduce too much stuff. So we control them by putting them 2 sugar canes here that are on red timers. And yeah, this one's gonna be like yellow right here, and the rest will be green. You also have peppermints here on this side. And yeah, you have 4 garlics here. You have 6 red oak trees right here. And then I think you have 9. 2, 4, 6, oh actually 8. You're gonna need 8 oak trees, and then the rest will be tree farms. When it comes to our ocean side, we have 1 seaweed farm right here. You have to be like you have to watch out for where you like place your seaweed farm. I think this one is the most optimal one. I tried placing it here, but we end up underproducing it because this seaweed farmer walks super slow. Even if this one like grows at 5 seconds, it's gonna be slowed down heavily by the seaweed farmer because it walks too slow. So be careful not to put it too far from the silo, because you might end up having a seaweed bottleneck. I think this one is actually the sweet spot, because we're not really gonna auto sell seaweed because it's gonna get consumed by the shrimp pond and this mixing tent right here. So even if you like place it super close to the silo, what happens is you're just gonna end up overproducing this salmon fillet. Yeah, so that is what's gonna happen. I highly suggest you just put it here, just so you don't overproduce it too much. The rest would be green timer salt field, and you have a 1 brown timer here, or a yellow timer. Okay, so this is the visualizer. You can see which one is making sugar, which windmill is making sugar, and which one is making salt. So this is the visualizer. I'm gonna put a link on this down below on the description, so just check the description. You guys can see the link to this one. And once you download that JSON file, for those of you who are new to this visualizer thing, just click load. Just download the file, click load, choose a file, and then click on that JSON file that you guys downloaded, and then it will load you this build right here. And yeah, that's it. That's my full no NFT smoked salmon build. If this video helped you, please do me a favor, hit that hit that like button, share this with your Townstar friends, and subscribe if you want more of weekly no NFT strategies. And also, not every build makes it to YouTube. Sometimes I only post them on the map Discord. So if you don't want to miss out on that, check the description, check the link in the descriptions. And that's it for me. See you guys next week.